Hi my friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this card here featuring a stamp set from Newton's Nook called Furr-ever Friends. And it's not going to be one of those happy-go-lucky cards that I usually make. I actually had to make this for one of my friends. She's actually my chiropractor. And she recently lost one of her best buddies, her kitty cat. And so I thought I would go ahead and make her a card to help her heal a little bit more, you know, just letting her know that I was thinking of her. And I thought I would just go ahead and show you the creative process as I was making this card. So I'm going to start off by using a piece of white cardstock, and I've already die cut it with a stitch circle from, I believe, Simon Says Stamp. And I've taken 3 inks from Fawn, and I'm going to create some colorful clouds using this stencil from MFT. And I absolutely love this stencil. It's one of my favorite stencils of all the stencils that I own, because it's just, it's really unique in the design of it, and 2, it's so easy to use. So I'm going for a very light application of ink here. So that's why I decided to go ahead and use my little finger daubers here, because I felt like I had a little bit more control in such a small area. So I'm going to start off with the bubblegum ink here, and each time that I'm inking up my finger dauber here, I'm going to kind of tap off some of the excess ink. I'm kind of more or less priming my ink dauber here, because I want to get enough ink on there, but I don't want it to be so light where it won't show up. But I don't want it to be so saturated to where it's going to create, I want to control the color that I'm putting down, is what I guess I'm trying to say. So, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm actually doing this in real time. Usually I speed up my videos, and later on I will speed up the video. But I wanted to show you this in real time because I wanted to show you how easy it was to do and how quickly you can create clouds like this. And I wanted to create some colorful clouds just to represent more or less, if you've lost a pet, you know that it's not easy, especially, you know, since if they've become a big part of your family. So it's just like losing a family member. So you know, all of us that do have pets or whatever, we all know what that feeling is like if we've ever lost one. So I wanted to create the representation of more or less the rainbow bridge, if you will, but in clouds. So and of course I didn't have really images that I can think of at the moment as I was making this card to create more or less a rainbow bridge. But so I thought about doing some colorful clouds like this and some soft colors, and I really like how it turned out. It's really fitting, I think, and it just kind of gives it that pop of color, because overall this whole card it's got a lot of white space on it. So this will represent that pop of color, but it won't be so harsh to where it kind of lends itself to the point that I'm making across with this card. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up the inking of my clouds here. And I had a little bit more white space toward the bottom there that I didn't want. So I'm going to add a little bit more ink towards the bottom there. And I love how the stencil, like I said, is created, because you can there's different variations of the clouds, and they actually just released a new one with what they call, I think, the mini cloud, that I want to get my hands on too, because I think both of these paired together will be such a great combination. So I'm going to continue on to add my ink here and finish up this little portion here. And I really do love these Fawn inks. They're one of my favorites. It's primarily the ink that I use when I'm using colorful inks. I've used my distress inks quite a bit lately here in videos, so I wanted to pull out my other favorites, which is my Fawn. So you can see there how I finished that up, and I'm going to get out my stamp set that I'm using. Like I said, it's the Newton's Nook Furr-ever Friends. So I'm going to use this cat image here, this cat silhouette image, along with the little wings. And I'm going to just use this scrap piece of white cardstock that I had left over whenever I die cut that circle. And I'm going to ink it up with the Fawn Jet Black ink. It's one of my favorite black inks here within the last few months. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that within my Misty here, because of course this is the first time that I'm using this stamp. And I want to make sure that I'm getting a really good, deep, good crisp impression. So I'm going to clean off my stamp and then add the little wings to the kitty cat. So I lined those up and to get those exactly where I want them. And I'm going to use the same ink to ink those up. And this would be a really great, if you wind up getting a stamp set like this or this particular one or whatever, this would be a really good thing to do also in if you added these wings separately and you emboss these in gold, the little wings in gold, that would be really nice too. But I just was going for just the plain black image here. I wasn't going to do anything else. So obviously there's no dies for this stamp set. I don't think there is anyway. And so I am fussy cutting. I did speed this up because I am a very, very, very slow fussy cutter. And so if you've watched my videos, you know the reason as to why. My eyesight, I have to have something up really close to see, make sure that I'm cutting it really well. So I am saving y'all the agony of the whole process of me cutting this whole thing out. But I did speed it up just a little bit. But you can see how that turned out, and it's a nice little image to put to my card here. And I went ahead and took the cloud, what is this called? Stitch Cloud landscape, I believe is called, from Fawn. And I love this little die here. It's been a really favorite one since they released it. They do have the landscape and the vertical, I believe. But I got the landscape this time, and because I usually make cards this way, and whenever I'm creating scenes more this way than I do the other way. I also did a die cut cloud just to place my kitty cat on top of that cloud, just so he would have something to sit on, more or less. So I've added that with some liquid glue there, and I'm just kind of placing it to see where I want to kind of align this on the card. I wanted to add just a little bit of extra color to that cloud, and so I just took a BG10 Copic marker to do that. And I'm going to work on my sentiment now. Now this piece of cardstock was left over from a die cut frame that I had, and I'm just going to use up these pieces. So I believe this is not Fog. This is one of the Summon Says Stamp cardstocks. I will have all of the supplies and supplies that I use in this card obviously listed in the description below, as I always do. So if you ever have questions or wondered what I use, you could always refer to that description bar. And so I am going to go ahead and ink this up with my VersaFine Versamark. I always get VersaFine and Versamark mixed up. So I'm going to use my powder tool and then ink that up with my Versamark ink, because I'm going to be embossing this with my Hero Arts white embossing powder. It's one of my favorite white embossing powders. It's a great detail embossing powder. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive to my little image here and get that into place. Then I'm going to add that onto my main focal panel here. And then I'm going to add some more foam adhesive onto my circle. So I want to make sure that I'm lining this up really well. So I'm going to first lay down my sentiment strip here. So I'm going to add some Nouveau glue. I'm still testing out this glue. So far I like it. It's pretty good. Like I said, I'm still testing it out, so I haven't got an official 100% opinion on it yet. So, but I will let you guys know how I like that. But so far, it's pretty good. So I've got that into place onto my main panel here, and now I'm going to add that foam adhesive to my circle and get that into place. And because I wanted to pop this up and give it a little bit more dimension and kind of just draw your eye in on that focal panel. So I'm going to take all of the backings off and get that into place. This is an overall a simple design, I guess you would say. But whenever you're making sympathy cards, usually you want to be simple. You don't want to be just overbearing, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You don't want it to be just chock full of stuff, because obviously you want something very simple, and because obviously sympathy cards are hard to make anyway, because the occasion is not obviously the best. So you want to, really kind of think simple and in your design if you're going to be making a sympathy card. So, and luckily I don't have to make these too often, whether it's for pets or for people. So I don't make too many too often, which is good, but I always keep that in mind whenever I am creating one. So that's just my little tip if you are struggling with that type of card. Just kind of keep it simple. So I'm going to add some of these little hearts here. This is the little cluster in the stamp set. I'm going to use those same Lawn Fawn inks that I used to ink up the circle panel, just to add something just a little bit extra to the card. And then I'm going to add this to my card base here. This is a piece of fog cardstock from Summon Says Stamp, and I die cut that and scored that at 4 1/4 to create my card today. And off camera, I went ahead and add something on the inside. I didn't show the stamping or anything, but that's because this was an afterthought. But I thought I would go ahead and show you the inside as well. So that completes today's card, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe, and I will catch you on my next video. Bye-bye.